Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This week I'll be showing you how to make a traditional Jamaican Easter bun. So to start, I have 2 cups of raisins that I've been soaking in some red wine. You don't have to soak them in red wine. We'll be combining all the liquid ingredients first. We'll just add everything into a saucepan and just put it on low heat so that way all the brown sugar is nice and dissolved into the mixture. We're going to start with 2 Dragon Stouts, browning, vanilla extract, some red label wine, honey, butter, molasses, and brown sugar. We'll start with pouring in 2 bottles of Dragon Stout. Now you can use Guinness or Tiger Malt or Vita Malt, whichever one you like, as long as it's a malt that you use for the base liquid. I like to use Dragon Stout because that's just what we always have in the house. Next, we'll be adding half a cup of red label wine. Next, we'll be adding 2 tablespoons of molasses. And then we'll be adding our half cup of butter. Optionally, you can also melt the butter if you want, but I just kind of skip this step because we'll be simmering the liquid anyways. By the time it's all done, it'll be nice and melted. Next, we'll be adding in our brown sugar, and we are using 2 cups. Give it a good mix. Then I'll be adding in half a cup of honey. And I'll give everything a good mix again. Make sure everything's getting melted. The butter, as you can see, is already beginning to melt. Now I'll be adding in 4 tablespoons of browning. You can add as much browning as you want, 4 tablespoons or less. It just depends on how dark you want your bun to be. Lastly, we will add 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Give it a good stir. You'll see that the sugar is completely dissolved and the butter is completely melted. So we're just going to remove this from the heat and set aside to let it cool. While we're waiting for the mixture to cool, we can start with our dry ingredients. For the spices, we will be starting with 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 4 teaspoons of mixed spice. If you don't know what mixed spice is, it comes like this in a package. It's Jamaican mixed spice. It's a mixture of cinnamon, sugar, allspice, ginger, cloves, and other things that we use in cakes and treats. Now we'll have 1 teaspoon of salt and 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. We'll also be using 2 teaspoons of nutmeg, half a teaspoon of ground ginger, half a teaspoon of mace. If you don't know what mace is, outer shell of the nutmeg. And then we'll also be using half a teaspoon of cloves. We'll be adding all of these into our bowl with 6 cups of flour. Sift into the bowl. And once that's complete, we'll add in all of our spices and combine. With this recipe, I'll be making 2 buns. So all the ingredient measurements are doubled. If you only want to make 1, then just cut all the measurements in half. Once our liquid mixture has cooled, we'll be adding in 2 beaten eggs. I also like to add in some lemon zest into the egg. I find that it takes away some of that rawness. So I've already zested 1 whole lemon, which I'll be adding in, and also squeeze in about half the lemon juice into the egg as well. You want to make sure that the liquid mixture is cool because you don't want the egg to cook once you add it in. Now you can slowly add in the liquid mixture into the flour, stirring and blending everything together slowly. If you're enjoying today's recipe, show some support and like, comment, and subscribe. Once you've added in all the liquid, you can switch over to a hand mixer to make things a bit easier. Once everything is nicely blended together, we'll add in our raisins. Now, if you like all that extra stuff in your bun, like cherries and mixed peel, this is the point where you would add that in as well. We don't like that stuff, we just like the raisins, so we just make it simple. I have my 9-inch baking pan that's already lightly greased. The oven is set to 350 degrees, and I will be adding half of my mixture into this pan. Like I said, I'll be making 2, so the other half of the batter will be set aside. Now when the bun is almost done, you can go ahead and start making your glaze. It's really fast, takes about 5 minutes. So you'll just get a saucepan with a little bit of water. Once the water comes to a light boil, you'll add in some honey. Give it a good stir, let it cook for about a minute or 2, and then remove from the heat. Once you remove the bun from the oven, you'll set it aside, and at this point you will brush the glaze all over the top of the bun. As the bun cools, the glaze will give it a nice, sticky, shiny coating. And there you have it, Jamaican spice bun. Thanks for watching, and join me next week for another great recipe.